Dude, good to see you.
You too, man.
When was the last time you were over?
I think it was May. You came over for your event.
Oh, it was too, yeah.
Yeah.
Mate.
It was your event, yeah.
Dude, twice in a year. So sick.
I can't stay away, man.
Yeah, well, it's only 15 hours. How long is it?
Now this time round it took like 22 because I had 2 layovers. So
Oh my god.
yeah, it was because I was using points, so I was like trying to use the points and make sure I got my money's worth out of it. And,
Dude,
yeah.
sick. Well, yeah, welcome, dude. It'd be good to like just get you to introduce yourself so that we can give everybody a bit of context. But we kind of, in a lot of ways, we're doing a similar thing. We're helping creatives. You're more so on the artist side. I'm on the designer side. But just take us through like even your story as an artist, and like take us through what you learned how to do, and then how that tied into helping other artists. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. So, God, it must be going on like 7 or 8 years ago now. Working a day job I hated in accounting. Pay was pretty mediocre. I just felt trapped because I jumped into that kind of career when I was really young. When I was like 17, just in college. I hated college as well. I wanted some freedom. Basically, I don't like being tied down. And I essentially left college to get tied down to something else in a career. I enjoyed the money, you know. I was 17, making money. My friends were at university, not making money. So I was like, oh, this is great. I'm the best, you know. And I had this cocky attitude, and it kept me trapped for years. So I worked different jobs at different corporations across the UK. I moved to London for a few years, worked down there, got a substantial pay rise down there. That was just too fast paced. But no matter how much I earned, then I just for some reason would never be able to keep any of it. And I think it was just because I was like trying to fill a void of not enjoying myself and not enjoying the career or what it is that I was doing. So I moved back home from London after realizing it just wasn't right for me. And yeah, it was a really dark period of my life. A lot of bad things had happened. My partner at the time, we bought a house together, we split up. Not long after, unfortunately, my late cousin passed away, who I was very close with. So I was pretty rock bottom because I'd had to move out of the house I had with my ex. I was living with my grandparents. And yeah, I don't know what came on me, but like I just decided to pick up a pen and start doodling and drawing, and I felt this sense of like kind of freedom. I was like, this is great. I'm just going to continue doing this. And I don't know why, but I just decided to take everything off my social media and just start posting these doodles I was doing. And little did I know, there was some traction starting. I was like, I'm going to do a challenge. I'm going to 90 days. I'm going to start drawing for 90 days. And every single day I'm going to post it up on social media. That gave me some traction. I had people interested. And that's when I sold my first print. I didn't sell an original, but I sold a print and it was like £15. I was like, this is great. But during that time of like being stuck in accounting, I was always on the search for a way to get out. So I invested in like masterminds and stuff like that. And during that time, I tried businesses. Like one was like a web design agency. One was like presentation design agency. All these things that I thought should work, but I just never had the passion behind them, and they just didn't work. But I'd learned a lot in the time. So I was like, well, if I like art and I have these skills that, okay, maybe didn't work on these businesses before, but maybe if I smash them together, I can make it work. That's when I came up with my SLO, my self-liquidating offer for my art. And that's when everything changed. And everything changed for me in 2020 when I went all in on it.
Yeah, wow. And so you were kind of, you learned business fundamentals and foundations first, and then tried it in a few areas. Didn't work so well. But then you acquired art as a passion.
Yeah.
And then you applied business foundations to art. And that's what built momentum.
Exactly.
That's kind of the inverse of how most creatives start, isn't it? They kind of they start as the artists, they develop the identity, and then they go, how do I make money from art? But you've kind of come the other way around.
That identity that identity of being the artist is actually detrimental to the progression of business around the art.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that I see all the time, and it's like reverse engineering that now. I'm trying to help artists reverse engineer don't get rid of it, keep it, because you need it for your creativity, you need it for your passion, you need it, you need it to produce great work for the world. But you need to reverse engineer it and put it on the side and put a different hat on. And it's like working with people now to try and have those two hats in front of you and decide which one you need to put on at a certain time.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing. I think when we first met, we started chatting, I was of the assumption of, man, like the artist space is completely different, and how an artist would sell their artwork online is completely different to how a designer would sell, until you start telling me all of the business mechanisms that are exactly the same as what we're teaching as well. Like you're teaching people to like double down and focus on a particular market that have a particular set of interests, instead of just painting for your own enjoyment, which is exactly what any entrepreneur does in any development of any product or service, I suppose.
But to speak to that, like if you look at the definition of art, it's like creating for oneself. It is for creating for oneself, right? So there is a selfishness to being a creator in some ways. But if you are wanting it to pay you, if you are wanting it to like give you something in return, like it's all well and good being fantastic and enjoying the process and loving what you do, but if no one can experience it, like what are you only doing it for yourself? If that's the case, then that's fine. But a lot of people and a lot of artists and a lot of designers and a lot of creatives, they want to be rewarded for their talents. You have to shift it, and it's like, well, the market decides. The market decides on what they want and what they don't want. And if you can lean into what the market decides on, like you can then create to that. And this is where I talk about creative branches, and this totally applies to the design industry as well. It's like you've got your two branches to make it very simple. Your first branch is you. It's you and your creativity and why you do what you do. It's like go all in on that and do that, but have time to create to the market, where the market is aligning, and make sure that you are providing a service, because that is what you're doing. If you're creating art, if you're creating design, if you're creating anything, and you're in business, you're doing it for a specific purpose, for a specific market. It's very selfish to think that what you create for yourself, which I say is like having a diary entry in your notebook. It's like try to sell a diary entry of your notebook. So two branches. The first one is your own, like go all in on that. And then your second one is the one that you focus on market specific and industry specific. Like look at what's selling online. Look at what people are asking for. Look at bestsellers on Etsy. Look at this, and look at all these websites that just literally lay it out for you. This is what people like. Go in, create that kind of stuff, but put your spin on it, because that's what you do. You're a creator. What are the key visual aspects? Take those key visual aspects of the stuff that's selling and just go in and do your version.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about being an artist or a designer, is if you're prepared to look that way. And I think it really comes down to most people's issue, and we're only talking from a monetary standpoint, is that you need to evolve into an entrepreneur. You need to identify as an entrepreneur who just happens to have a skill set that's artistic or design related, right? The minute you do that, you're actually telling yourself there's people out there that are more important than me, and it's the people with money. And like your idea of like figuring out where the money is, like this, I've got this crazy, it's a hilarious story, but there was this guy back in Chicago back in like the 1800s. I think I told it at the master partner event.
I've also presented this to my community as well, because it's so good.
It's so funny, isn't it? But so that for people listening or watching, it's this guy gets caught. He's robbed like 5 or 6 banks in a row in the space of 2 months. They put him in the police compound and they ask him like, why do you keep robbing banks? And he's like, because that's where the money is. And the easiest way to make money, it sounds so obvious, is to figure out where money exists right now and set up next to it. So as entrepreneurs, that's all an entrepreneur is, I feel, is somebody that, like spotting good waves as a surfer, it's somebody that can go, I can see there's money over there, and now my job is to put a product or service in front of those people with the money so that I can help them move towards their goals. But yeah, it seems if you can make the identity shift, everything becomes way easier. Because it seems like to me, everybody that's super successful isn't really that focused on the aura of being the artist or the designer.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the most financially successful design business owners I've met, guys I've worked with, they don't really care about the mystique of the identity of a designer or a creative. They care about the money, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's such a catch-22 though. Like, especially like, I can understand from a designer point of view, because when you're designing for corporations, you're designing for clients and stuff like that. It's different in the art space because there's such a personal connection to what you create, because it's coming from inside you.
Yeah.
You may have a brief as a designer. Well, you probably will have a brief. This is what we like. This is what we want. Create something. Similar with artists when you get commissions, but it's still in line with what you already do. So there's always a juggling act of like trying to find the balance between making sure you're fulfilled, because an artist has to be fulfilled to be able to create great work, but then also like switching on the commerce hat and the business hat. It's like, all right, I need to get paid now. Like, what do I need to make to get paid? And the great thing is I say this all the time, and like as an artist, like you're literally like a superhero. You can create something from nothing. Like if you know how to paint one thing, you know how to paint anything. So you can literally create something from nothing. And the same is similar for designers. If you are asked to design the next, I don't know, something weird and wacky that like you'd never even touch. If you want to touch that, you could do, and you could create it and design it if someone came to you with a random request. It's not that it just becomes a question of, do I want to do it or do I not? But if someone's coming with like 10 grand in their hand, it's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of an example of something stupid that you might be asked to design. You're in the product space. If they would come to you and ask you to...
I've heaps of things.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Sex toys. You wouldn't believe some of the sex toys.
But if they gave you enough money for it, you'd probably do it.
Yeah. There was... dude, there's this one guy, and it's probably not the appropriate... I'll tell you off. So this Italian 60-year-old guy came to me and proposed this project. I can't even honestly mention it. Like if this episode to get blacklisted 100%, but yeah, I know what you mean. Take us through, like, because obviously learning the business foundations, my journey was kind of design, mastering my craft, coming across business foundations and thinking of pivoting, and then realizing nobody was applying this to the design space. Yours was kind of the same. It's just you didn't master the craft beforehand, I suppose. So take us through the self-liquidating offer, and like take us through how you actually made money selling art, like the mechanics of it.
Yeah, 100%. So I did come to it with the drive to make money and a little bit of knowledge of business and marketing and sales. So that is kind of where I personally I had a bit of an advantage. I was like, I could see an opportunity, and the opportunity was self-liquidating offers, or as some people may hear about them, they're like sales funnels, that kind of thing. I was like, how can I apply this to art? Because I don't see anyone having ever done this before. So I created offers around my art, collections of my work, to offer prints at a low price, high value, lots of bonuses, lots of bits and pieces to go with it to build the value. So low price, high value. So it became a no-brainer for people to purchase.
Yeah.
Upsell path behind it. Okay, you selected this one print, which is all you can get on the front end of the offer. One print out of 5, you can only choose one. But the upsell is the additional 4 if you want to get them,
Yeah.
So
I might just quickly clarify as well, because like the notion of because obviously we're heavy in marketing, a self-liquidating offer is basically an offer that you might sell for $20, and then if you can spend $20 in paid traffic to get that customer, then the purchase pays for the acquisition of the customer, and now you have a customer in your database.
That's it.
And you can email them, and when you talk about upselling and on the back end, it's all of the cost to get in front of that person is now zero because we've got them on the list. So that's what you mean by self-liquidating.
Yeah, definitely. So that you pay advertising to put an offer in front of your audience. For me, it was art buyers in the US and the UK, or potential art buyers in the US and UK. Those people go through, they buy that offer. That'll be like a single print, or maybe they upsell to a collection. The funds of that offer self-liquidated the advertising spend, which meant I could then go all in and spend more on advertising, which means I could reach more people. And everyone who purchased is an email subscriber now. They've purchased something. They're not just a regular email subscriber who just is looking for discount codes.
Yeah, they're a customer.
They're actually a customer.
They already love it.
They physically pulled out their credit card. And that is like, there's no higher value email subscriber than that.
Yeah.
They actually trust you. You've delivered on your promise. You've delivered it. They've received the work. They've got it in their home. They've got it on the wall. They see it every single day. They're reminded you every single day. Oh, here's an email from Lloyd. Here's an email from whichever artist has done this. They know and recognize you, so they'll open the email. They'll read it. They'll resonate with you. And when you present them with an offer for original art and you showcase what you've been working on, you are building connections. You're asking for replies. You're having conversations. You're showing status. All of this stuff feeds into the community vibe of your email list, and just naturally people reach out to you and buy, and other opportunities come up. I've had corporate clients come to me asking me to furnish show homes, like property developers, just because my face was out there with advertising spend, and they'd see me as the artist and they could see the confidence because this guy's running ads, he must be good.
Yeah.
There's so many little things that come into this that make it valuable. If you can get it right and you can get it self-liquidating, and in some cases in profiting as well. In some cases I was returning $5 for every dollar I spent just on the front end offer.
That's insane. And like the big thing there is you took the art space, which probably has a pretty traditional format as to how people make money. It's like you've got to get recognition, you've got to get into the big galleries, and then you've probably got to play the schmooze in the networking game. That's the traditional model. But you basically took the Russell Brunson like $10 book model from the marketing space and you applied it to the design space. Well, that's exactly all I did with my design business as well, is just built the Sam Ovens video sales letter for my design business and then ran Google ads to it.
Yeah.
And did a bit of LinkedIn outreach.
Take what works and mold it to your industry.
Yeah. So that in a lot of ways, the art space is exactly like the design space in that it hasn't evolved in 60 years. It's actually very stagnant. And the real opportunity for both of our spaces is really understanding what the hell's happening outside of it and just bringing that technology in. And that's mostly what like successful entrepreneurs do. They're not taking new technologies.
Looking for opportunities and looking for different ways of approaching things. There's a reason 99% of designers and artists are struggling, because they're doing what 99% of artists and designers are already doing.
Yeah.
So you'll get 99% of the same results. You just got to look for that 1% shift. And it's the 1%. That 1% is approaching things differently and thinking about things differently.
Yeah. So you're big on that idea. Like you can't, if most people agree with you, it's probably the wrong direction to head in, right?
In everything.
Yeah.
Not just business.
Yeah.
Like if everyone's flocking over there, I don't want to go over there because there's something probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling that way about Canggu right now.
Yeah, really? Yeah, it's too busy.
Yeah.
Way too busy.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like that crops up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like if everyone is flocking and doing the same thing, there's probably a disadvantage there.
And like it's a lot of it, it's kind of, that's actually a pretty cool idea. But when you start to learn, as you become more successful with a business or as an entrepreneur, you start to realize that there's fewer and fewer people at the higher levels of achievement that you're trying to strive for, which means that they're doing something considerably different. And half of the reason of that is that to get a particular level of success, you need to generate a particular level of attention. And that attention won't come from sharing what 99% of people are doing. Like, I think something that over the last 60 days, I'm starting to realize at a greater level of detail, the only thing that matters online, like for both of our students or any artist or designer, is what is inherently different in what you're doing. Yeah. That's the only thing that matters. If people come across anything that they then automatically associate as another, you're so fucked it's not funny.
Yeah.
Like the minute somebody's like, oh, it's one of those. If they can categorize it into something they've seen before, then you're so fucked. And that's obviously why Mr. Beast, you know, from a YouTube standpoint, it's why his videos do so well, is because nobody's ever done what he's doing in the videos. And then the headline and the image, or like the thumbnail, is providing an experience that the viewer has never actually witnessed, which that's what inspires people to click. So like take us through like what are some of the, let's take us through some of the mental challenges in obviously realizing, man, there's this mechanism here of self-liquidating offers and selling low ticket products to get customers on the email list, and realizing that nobody was doing it in the artist space. Take us through some of the mental challenges or some of the anguish trying to figure that out. Like how
from my perspective, our students.
Yeah, for yours. Like how much like grinding and fine tuning and optimizing was there?
It took me years. You know, I clearly was looking for something, and that was part of that time. But when I thought, this is the idea, this is the thing I need to try, like it took me like probably a year to get it off the ground. You know, like I'm quite a fast action taker, especially nowadays. I've come to that kind of like level where I'm like, I just need to get stuff done. If I've got an idea, just get it out there, test it. And that's what I try and communicate to my students as well. But in the early days, like when you don't really know what's going on and no one's done it before you, it's like, I want to make sure this is right. I want to make sure the copy's right. I want to make sure the offer's right. So I spent a good year tinkering before I pressed play on the ads, which I do regret. I wish I'd have just done it and just like thrown it out there, because it probably would have gone gangbusters from the beginning. Yeah. But the thing with any like it may be different for designers, but with artists, technology is not a major part of their lives, a lot of them. Like I'm talking like 90% of artists I speak with, like they have concerns of technology and systems and processes online. But what I say to that is like, nobody ever knew those when they started.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to take the next level, like you're going to educate yourself. You've got to learn these things, because like that is where the barrier is. There's like I said, the 99% of artists are doing what the 99% of artists are doing. The 1% are taking the next step and looking for other options and educating themselves, grinding it out, making mistakes. Like if you're not making mistakes, you're screwing up. You know, if you're not fucking something up, you're screwing up. So that was exactly it. Like it took me months, almost a year, to build landing pages, because I was learning the software. I was learning this, Facebook ads, Meta ads. Like that was a whole new world to me. I was like, what do I do here? How do I do it? You know, I probably spent about $5,000 US before I even realized what I was doing right and wrong. You know, but that's just the journey. Yeah. And if you're willing to put up with those peaks and troughs, especially the troughs, if you're willing to put up with the troughs and go through shit, you know, you will come out, as long as you're progressing and as long as you're being consistent with your efforts and you're getting support, educating yourself, watching podcasts, learning things from YouTube. Literally all of my education on ClickFunnels and Facebook ads was on YouTube. Yeah. That was it. I had a mentor.
All free too.
I had a mentor at the time, but he was more big picture, kind of big thinking kind of mentoring. You know, it's like he wouldn't get in the weeds and like teach me how to do Facebook ads. Yeah. He'd teach me how to think. Yeah. So it's just about grinding it out and like learning, because that's a skill. And there's many more skills I want to have, which I'm on the journey to learning, but the skills that you've got to just grind it out and put yourself in front of. Yeah.
What do you find? Like I found in my own design business that I don't ever, and it's kind of a hard thing, because a lot of creatives are trying to push their art form as far as it goes. But when you start applying your skill set to a business context, you realize that a lot of the times you don't have to push that far, because the product or service that's most appropriate for the client is way more simple. But I think, do you find that with your students as well? Like I know that some of your students do relatively simple artwork. It's just they've absolutely nailed the niche and they've just got a perfect offer for that audience. So do you also find that as well, that like sometimes you don't need to use your whole artistic artillery to do really well from a business standpoint. Sometimes trying to do too much is getting in your way.
Yeah, it's like there's this perfectionism with the creator. Like it has to be perfect. Like I have to make sure every brush stroke or every pixel in your case is like perfect. Like for me, I'm an abstract painter, right? I have comments on social media all the time saying, "Oh, my kids could do that." It's like, yeah, they probably could, but they're not. But I have the strategies to be able to get it in front of people and sell it. Right?
Yeah.
So if I can sell my art, which is like based on 5 comments on an ad, is novice and kids can do it, you know, the talented artists out there, which I speak to day in, day out, like they have a higher shot at making something work, providing that they look at things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't need to get better. They don't need to have the most complex work that takes 100 hours. Story here, actually. I went to an art show in London, and we went round and looking at all these amazing artists, and there were some incredible artists there, and there was this young girl, and she did this geometric dot work. It was like mandala kind of style, but it was huge. It was like that big.
Yeah.
And it just looked insane, and she priced it, and don't quote me on this, I think it was about £1,800, right? Okay, that's a substantial amount of money for a piece of art, great. I asked her how many hours. It took her over 300 hours. You work out the hourly rate, and that's like, it's because she's so focused on the technicalities and like it being so perfect that she's like, obviously she's going to struggle like initially to price it at something that's going to be worth her time.
Yeah.
Simplify.
Yeah.
Simplify your work to get some traction. Then when you have an audience and you have an email list, you can then present that and say, this is 100 grand.
Yeah. That's funny. So like you can come across her and go, this business model doesn't work immediately, based on 2 numbers, the price and the cost to deliver.
Yeah. And what it says to me though, is she was at a show trying to sell it. So she is interested in selling it. It's not that it's just a passion project.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the difference. So it's, people do this for fun, and they'll do that many hours for fun because they enjoy it and they're not asked about selling it.
Yeah.
If she was at a show doing that, then it's clear to me that she's trying to present herself to be able to sell her work to people.
Yeah.
But just work out the hourly rate, man.
And that's the funny thing. I mean, it's why it's so easy. I think in any situation with any artist, like who sees themselves as a business owner or a designer, you can ask 3 or 4 questions, and in 30 seconds, you know how viable their model is. And like,
What questions would they be? What would you ask?
Well, in that situation, like you just know those 2 things there. So like all you're asking there is like, what's the simplest 2 questions to ask are, what do you charge for it? And what does it cost you to deliver it? And this is why when you watch Shark Tank or Lion's Den, the first question is always those 2 things.
Numbers,
why?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to figure out, they don't really care what the product is. What they care about is how quickly it's moving on the shelves and what are the numbers at play. So the questions are always, what does it cost to produce these? What are you selling it for? And generally, like, what does it cost you to get a customer? And that's enough information for people to determine whether you're going to do well or not. And people like this girl that's massively talented, if they just picked up one business book, it would completely change the trajectory of their life. Don't you feel like that? Like a lot of the times?
There's in the industry, I think there's a lack of want for education, because the common thing being told to artists, and this is probably in other industries, is like your work should speak for itself and it should sell itself.
Yeah. I've never heard a broker idea.
It's such a broke idea.
Yeah.
Like, it should sell itself. If your talent is good, people will come to you and buy it from you. You don't need to go and show it to people. It's like, but that's just stupid.
Yeah.
And I think deep down people know that, but they're using it as a get out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame. And it's like, my job now is to like strip that thought completely.
Yeah.
Because as soon as that thought's gone, like everything else just starts to fall into place, and people start to really understand. It's like, well, actually, I am in control of this. And when you take control of your own destiny and your own sales and your own career, like, And as well, this is where galleries came in as well. Like they took control of everything, but they took a fee for that of 50%.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the galleries, they're interesting. It's like the old notion of who made all the money in the gold rush. Well, it was the guys selling the shovels.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, the galleries are the kind of shovel sellers of the artist dreams, aren't they?
But then you've also with the galleries, you've got like the criteria of being able to hit a certain kind of art. Like they won't take everyone, so there's a massive line out the door. It's just not a good business model. Like, you could spend years trying to get into a gallery, and then you'll sell one piece from that gallery in 2 years, and you've given half of it to them anyway. So it's like, just take control. Like,
build an audience.
It's your destiny, and it's your job to make sure that you're getting it in people's hands. Do you know what's crazy? Like, just another thing on galleries, you know what's crazy? Like, this isn't all galleries, but a lot of galleries. If a buyer comes and buys your work, you never get to know the name of the person or the email address.
Really?
Because it's their client, not yours.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's insane.
It's not every gallery, so I don't want to speak badly of all galleries because there are some good ones out there, but like the majority of the high street ones, like it's just crazy.
Oh my God. That high-end art game. It's funny. There's a lot of what allows a lot of that art to move is like the tax implications of writing off valued assets and depreciation by the sound of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I don't know. Like, I should probably read up on a lot of that because there's a lot of the, the investment, like the super wealthy use art as like a strategy for like, like saving on tax and stuff. I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk to it, but it happens.
Yeah.
But if you're in that game, you're making a lot of money anyways.
Yeah.
As an artist.
But then it's obviously such a small click, and that's kind of what happens is, Ben, I feel like the art and the design space are the same in that you've got your 5 or 6 absolute rock stars of the world and then 25 million individual artists or designers trying to be those 6 people, and people don't understand that there's only 6 spaces there.
Yeah.
But if you're an entrepreneur, there's unlimited spaces for finding and uncovering markets that have needs and putting a product in front of them based on your own taste so that you carve out your own unique positioning. The other thing I wanted to mention is that notion of like, just let your craft speak for itself. And you've probably spoken to people as well, but I remember speaking to somebody that worked directly under Steve Jobs during the iPhone era who wasn't making what they could be in a 9-to-5 job in their own industrial design business. Yeah. This is somebody that, like, after hearing their situation and their journey, like, this is somebody that's probably 100 times better designer than me, who just went all in on the craft aspect of it and then tried to go do their own thing and unfortunately got hit with the reality stick. But it just shows you, like, that there is a handful of people that just let pure talent get there, but I think most people are unaware of how successful they are from a business standpoint as well, because what you see within the creative community doesn't equal money. A lot of the times it's just industry recognition based on a completely different set of principles.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So take us through, like, what are some of the kind of big mental challenges that you're helping unlock when it comes to helping artists move more into really like a respect and a building of an online business model, really?
I think the main one is confidence, because a lot of the artists that come through and come to us initially, like, they're just deer in headlights, and they just don't know where to turn and what to do. And when you don't know what to do, like, you have no confidence in, like, the first thing that's presented to you as, like, the opportunity. It's like, what do I do here? So, like, confidence is the big one. So we spend a lot of time helping artists build confidence, and the reality is just put shit out there and just do the work, and the confidence follows.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds harsh, but you're not going to have confidence until you start to see a needle move in the right direction. It was true for me. It's true for many, many artists I've worked with, and it's probably true for a lot of your guys. you can get given as many strategies for building confidence as you want, but the real life work will do more for you than any of these kind of like woo-woo strategies of building confidence and stuff. We have a mindset coach inside our program specifically for it. She's the expert on that stuff. But for me, it was just like, just do the work and grind it out and fall over and get back up again. Because that is what's going to build the confidence in the long run.
I mean, it's like confidence comes from basically creating evidence, which just comes from doing stuff. So like the minute, I can imagine the minute you just get yourself out there and then somebody buys a print of your artwork and then they message back to you. Yeah. And it's like, I love this. That's like that you can never get to that point unless you put yourself out there to start with.
Do you remember your first dollar online?
Yeah. Oh, always.
And that's what changes everything.
Yeah.
So like our job is to make sure that first dollar online comes through fast.
Yeah.
For you and for me and for our students. It's like when that first dollar, even if it's $1, like literally a physical dollar, just $1 into Stripe, into PayPal, that in itself, knowing that a stranger has paid you, is enough confidence for you to start moving forward. So the goal is to try and make sure that first dollar happens like ASAP.
That's also a good idea for anybody that's building any sort of offer, like to do what you've done with your students in your program, and even if it's a design client, but as much as you want to worry about the big picture, you figure out what are the quickest tangible wins that you can give somebody immediately, because that radically increases the likelihood that the relationship goes deeper or ascends to a different pay grade, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then, like, obviously, there's the shift, I suppose. So take us through, like, you were talking about the journey of, like, starting with paid traffic, which is super aggressive for a lot of people, but you kind of had the education to do it. A lot of people just try to run ads and they don't understand what they're doing or like what their objectives are. But now you're kind of moving to a more like organic strategy. So take us through kind of the mechanics of like what are the key ingredients to getting like an organic marketing strategy working on like Instagram or Facebook if you're selling art?
It's super simple, man. Like people overthink content and social media. All social media is a social platform to connect with people. Like if you just think of it as a simple machine like that, that's all it's for. So what do you need to put out there? Social content that is like relatable. You know, artists and designers will put finished products up on their page, and it's just like one after another. It's just finished paintings, finished designs, finished this, finished that. It's just there's no soul there. You know, it's like no one gives a shit about your final piece. They want to know how that happened.
Yeah,
they want to know what your process is, what struggles you've had. And I say to my guys now, it's like, how can you start a conversation in the comments? Like what do you need to do to make sure that people leave you a comment so you can start a conversation? Because that conversation is the initial start to a conversation. And even if it doesn't turn to a conversation, it's a connection, which means that further down the line, it could be a conversation. So like I talk about in terms of content, it's like audience participation. For an artist, this is huge. It's like if you can get an audience to recommend what color you do the sky in your next painting, or in the painting that you're showing them the process of, if they put a shit ton of different colors in the comments, you go and reply to them all and you choose someone's color and you paint that color, that person has an instant connection with you. You know, they're involved in the work, which means that there's more likelihood of them wanting to purchase it. That's one example. There's plenty of different ones. It's like asking open questions. It's like this or that. It's like, oh, what color frame? White or black looks best on this painting? You'll get shit tons of comments, tons of them. And then you just go in and you reply to every single one. And this is the thing. And I can bet anyone listening and watching this right now is guilty of this, because I am kind of guilty of it, and you're probably guilty as well. You'll have tons of comments you've not replied to. Yeah. How many opportunities are there?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And it's simple, because like you miss it. Like people are missing the point. They're looking for followers, they're looking for likes, but literally they mean nothing nowadays.
And they're looking for people going all the way to give me the payment link.
Yeah.
But most of the time, what you're saying is a quick conversation can get you to that point so easily.
You will never sell, not never, 95% of the time, you will not sell an original piece of art at a price that you're happy with without having a conversation with someone first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mentioned like with the emails after someone coming through and buying a print, like you'd have to try and get someone to reply, because when someone replies, that's your opening to start a conversation. It's not often as an artist, someone just randomly rocks up at your website and buys something.
Yeah.
It takes a conversation, because art is it's an emotional purchase. It's not like, in some levels, in some cases, it's not emotional. Like people just like the look of it and they want to shove it on the wall. That's great. But if it's an investment, and if it's five to 10 to 20 to 50 grand that someone's dropping on this, they're not going to rock up and buy it off your website. They want to chat to someone.
Yeah, totally.
So you have to be the initiator of conversations.
Yeah.
And everything that you do has to come with the goal of making connections and starting conversations.
Yeah.
And if you go with the goal of that and not push for sales,
Yeah.
don't try and sell things on social media. This is like literally, don't sell things don't say this is available. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just look for connections and conversations and build relationships. And it's that sparks the sales, and they'll naturally come to you. We've got countless examples of this happening. And it's just human nature, because people will not buy something from you unless they trust you and connect with you.
Yeah, totally.
It's like similar with you guys. You got to get on a call, like have a call. And in some cases, our artists, they'll get on a call. They'll do a little FaceTime with a potential buyer. That instantly builds the trust and connection needed for someone to hand over the payment. Yeah,
it's funny. It's like it's nearly the cheat code for how to think about social media is to produce content that you find default enjoyable to do, with the goal of just getting engagement and starting conversation. And then all you do, if you post a piece of content on any platform and you get 10 likes and you get 7 comments, that's 17 conversation starters for people that are reasonably qualified.
Thanks so much for the like on my last post.
Yeah.
Instant. Just send that. Doesn't matter if they reply.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 they won't.
Yeah.
But if you do that 100 times, that's 10 people you're having a chat with.
And that's probably that's something you learn in marketing very early that I don't think a lot of creatives figure out. Is I feel like a heap of designers, when they come into our training program, one of the easiest ways to help them kind of see things differently is they live or die by every individual prospect situation. And what works better is to understand the aggregate of what 100 situations look like. And the minute you can go, oh my God, it's actually pretty normal to have 96 people ignore me, but then 4 show interest and 2 show enough interest to jump onto the phone or purchase something. And then once you understand that relationship, it's like I can deal with 96 no's because I understand the distribution of outcome, if that makes sense.
That's exactly it. It's like, you're going to have to speak with a lot of people to get a sale, but that's just the game.
Yeah.
And it's not a game that a lot of people are willing to do.
Yeah.
And play it.
The funny thing is though, and we're kind of very alike with this, but if you don't like that, well, the alternative is worse, which is the alternative of, okay, well, I better just go get a job that sucks the life out of me, is literally the alternative to dealing with a bit of micro rejection from somebody that you have no emotional attachment to anyway. Yeah. And that's kind of the tough part about marketing. But I mean, that's don't you feel like that's kind of the key motivator? Like a lot of, I'm sure to a degree, it was definitely for me, a lot of what motivated me to move forwards was understanding that if I was in the same spot that I was at that time, fast forward 10 years, then that's the worst case scenario.
That's it.
Like that's as bad as life could have got.
It's so difficult because I do genuinely, this is I think a partial reason for my success is the situation was so dire before that I needed to get out. If you could bottle that and just hand it to someone and let them drink it, it's like your life is going to be shit when you drink this, and you'll have no choice but to make it better.
Yeah.
So I just don't think, in some cases, for a lot of people, there's no urgency because life's comfortable. It's fine and it works, and it's like, it's okay. We'd like it to be better, but it's okay if it doesn't get better.
Mm.
So like being rock bottom can literally change your life.
Yeah.
So like, how can you artificially do that? I don't know. But
Yeah.
how can you artificially make sure your life is shit?
Yeah. It's
that, like,
a good hack. It's an amazing
Yeah.
hack, isn't it?
Yeah. Because there's that, but then there's like passion, and then there's like, what's the word?
I mean, the thing is like, as you progress, like what I've found is there's a way to converge everything. So I think as you're getting started, it's very simple to believe that success is this super linear path, and then once you have a little bit of success, build a bit of confidence and build a bit of momentum, more and more you realize, holy shit, I can converge everything that I'm passionate about in a format that allows me to make money. But it takes time walking that path. So what I'm realizing now, is like I have had a design business where, design a lot of products. Some of them are really exciting. Some of them are the most fucking boring. Like, I'm trying to think of something really boring, like the base of like a lamp, like literally like just unmotivating things that pay the bills for the business, right? And then you realize, oh man, there's a business model in helping other designers with what I've learned growing my business, which allows me to tap into something more passionate. And then, man, you get to the point where you realize there really is no limitations other than those we put on ourselves. And it is possible to make money doing anything, but first you must learn the rules of how money acts and behaves. And then you just obsess over trying to solve that problem. But I feel like it's tough to see that path until you've kind of copped a few punches to the gut and you've tried to just work on the foundations first, if that makes sense. But like, so from like a trajectory standpoint, like where you are now with helping other artists, like what are the next moves, I suppose?
Yeah, so we're developing a few areas and strategies. We're bringing in more talent, more incredible artists who have huge knowledge in other industries. We are shitting on galleries, but there is a place for it. So like bringing in other artists who have experience and have very high success in galleries, how to get into galleries, like that kind of thing. So at the moment we cover like paid advertising and self-liquidating offers and funnels. We've got the organic side, which we're still building out, but it's absolutely fantastic so far. We've got a lot of people who are seeing fantastic results from that. But then there's all these other areas of the artistic world that like we want to be able to provide value in those areas. I'm not the one to do that. So, we're actively looking for people in different areas and different spaces to come in and help our guys. We're looking at potentially some software. This is very early stages, but some software that people can utilize to help them with their strategy of organic and conversations, utilizing AI and those kind of tools, plug and play, like this is my piece of art, help me create a post that will get comments. I've just had this amazing comment from someone, how do I reply? Like those kind of like things that we're going to be potentially building in the next 6 to 12 months. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But man, like I work with artists, like the guys on the team are artists and it's just so much fun. We have personalities are just insane. Like you can imagine like some artists are just like, like insane personalities.
1 in a billion kind of people.
Like being able to work with those guys every single day, like log into Slack and just see their messages and just see what they've been up to is just insane. And just being surrounded by artists every single day, like inside the community. And when I jump on a call, just speaking to artists in the space right now, it's just amazing. But yeah, we're just growing it. We're bringing it to more people. We're looking for other strategies and other areas to reach more people and help more people, because the world needs more art. And unfortunately, without help, I think a lot of artists just won't find the way to get it in people's hands. So it just makes sense to go and do what works and learn from people who have done it.
Dude, that's sick. I mean, like that's probably a nice way to tie it up, is that like the impact your craft can have on people is magnified by a respect and understanding for business, because business is the math of how it can be distributed to as many people as you possibly can get it to, you know.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
I think that's it for time, isn't it, Bobby? But yeah, Lloyd, absolute pleasure, mate. And
Cheers,
yeah, I'm looking forward to dinner as well.
Yeah, can't wait.
Big steak.
Big steak, T-bone.
Awesome, man.